Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and it's time for part 2 of cross-training. So, last time I got out my game, Pokemon Scarlet, we went ahead, we booted it up on the Switch like we do with Master Duel, and I sort of talked about like how that's going to help you increase your Yu-Gi-Oh game. And to a point, it makes sense. Like, building a team is a lot like building a deck. You need to prepare, which is like the breeding, the putting the moves together, making sure that everything flows right, doing all your play testing, etc., etc., etc. This is bothering me. Let me move that. And like that's all fine and well. But like the best way to cross train a card game is with another card game. And one of the ones I'm always playing, guys, is going to be Magic the Gathering. And not just Magic the Gathering. I think that we can go in a little bit more. And I think we'd also talk about Duel Masters. But the thing is, with Kaijudo Rise of the Duel Masters, like, I want to show you guys this deck next week on Monday. So, like, I'm going to try not to show as much of this as possible because this was actually made to compete with Yu-Gi-Oh! So, that said, let's just keep our eyes on the Magic deck. And when it comes to resources and management in Magic, it's very easy to understand. We have land cards that we're going to play. And our land cards will generate our mystical magical source of energy or mana. And mana, in turn, is then used to play spells. Now, again, in this game, you have creature spells. You have, they used to be called summons, in case you want to see an old copy of Land of War Elves. They go with instants. Sometimes they're tribal. It's just a specific type from a different set. They had sorceries. There's enchantments. Enchantments ended up splitting up amongst whether or not they were auras or just blanket enchantments over everything. You have sorceries. And again, in Yu-Gi-Oh, we consider this to be like a normal spell as opposed to the instants being more of a quick play spell. The enchantments being more like a continuous spell. Planeswalkers. As far as the lore of this game goes, they're essentially another player that goes up next to you. And playing a game like this is going to show you that there are more than one resource system within a game. In Yu-Gi-Oh! If you can use it to further a strategy, I don't care if it's, let me clear the table, I don't care if it's the Infernities, saying that they only get their effects if you don't have a hand, meaning the ability to discard is going to be your resource management, and you need to be able to either play things from the discard pile, a lot of quick play stuff, and a lot of things that can respond quickly from the back row, things that would normally put your deck at a disadvantage. And again, for that one, it works. Or whether or not we need to look at playing monsters as being our resource system, because again, maybe you're trying to play the Ancient Egyptian God cards of Yu-Gi-Oh! You're going to need 3 tributes, period. Same thing with the Sacred Beasts. However, they're special summons, so it's a little more lenient. Things like Magic and having a set amount of resource available to you per turn is going to be very, very useful. And again, when it came down to Kaijudo, any card could be mana. Which made it a little easier to play the game as opposed to the way Magic is played. Like, only land tends to create mana, except when you have certain cards like the Land of War Elves that when they tap can add green mana to the mana pool just the same as land does. Or if you have, should be the one with it, Heritage Druid, you get to tap 3 of your elves that are untapped to add 3 mana. Again, in this deck, it's crazy. Then you play like Nettle Sentinels. You start layering things, and then like the Nettle Sentinels become good blockers. Then they also become like part of your resource system. Your deck and your hand are always a resource. So things like this Regal Force come in handy because then you get to draw per creature that you already had in play. And before the end of this deck, the big goal here is you want to be able to utilize these Elvish Promenades to go ahead and create extra Green Elf Warriors in play times the number of elves you already had in play. So if that number was 20, you create 20 tokens. Now you have 40 characters. And on the second one, it checks again. It says, okay, I see 40. I'll create 40. Now you have 80. And then it's 160. Then it's whatever, 320. It gets crazy. It gets good. It gets fast. It's fun and enjoyable. But playing Magic is going to help you be good at Yu-Gi-Oh! And likewise, by playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And knowing that we have all these different decks that use different things as resources, like Lightsworn uses the deck, because sometimes you have to discard, sometimes you have to mill. Being able to do that is also going to be a resource. When you're doing the synchro summoning, and again, we may get to be doing that here in Speed Duel next 2 years, I'd say. I'd say before the end of 2025, we're going to have synchro monsters in Speed Duel. And I know, for the ones that want it to be pure old school fun, this is going to mark an end of an era for you guys. And for everybody else, like, we'll be pretty interested to see, like, because again, in Speed Duel, we've seen cards that just did not have the strength to be good in the main formats, really become outstanding cards. Strategies that you normally wouldn't play are playable. And it just means that there's more fun to go around. Excuse me. And this is just one copy of a Magic deck. Again, there were cards. I did the Amonkhet Cycling deck. If you guys check out the non-Yu-Gi-Oh! Playlist on the channel, you guys can roll back, find that. At which point cards were able to cycle. So like every card was a pay cost, discard to draw. So again, that's sort of a resource, changes the way that it works, and gives you more ins and outs. And again, that kind of non-linear thinking is what's going to help you build better strategies when you go back to your Yu-Gi-Oh! Tables. So again, Magic and Pokemon, believe it or not, part of the big three of gaming back in the day, still going to help you be good in all of the different games when you cross-train them. So, that said, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go find another game that's got a slightly different twist and see about giving you guys another one of these, giving you guys like a little part 3 action. So for now, do the things or don't, but do me just the one favor. Go out, enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys again next time, all right? See you later.